but I do that anyway. I say ow a lot. Might as well
I'm just
call me
saying-
Troy because I'm an ache man. I'm in pain a lot.
I don't know. Oh, okay. That took me a second.
Troy
That was
Aikman's
so
a
dumb.
football player.
I know.
Would you rather I
got
say
it.
call me Clay because I be aching?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so I said call
I
me
wouldn't-
Troy because
I
I'm an
wouldn't rather
ache man.
either of those. I would rather these jokes not be made.
I'm the ache man. That's what I am. I'm the ache man. I got the master plan.
Oh my god!
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. I can turn the gray sky blue. I can make it rain whenever I want it to. Oh, I can build a castle from a single grain of sand. I can make a ship sail on dry land. But my life is incomplete and I'm so blue, 'cause I can't get next to you.
I can't get next to you, baby.
Get next to you.
I can't get next to you.
I just can't get next to you. Anyway, hey guys, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on the YouTubes, Pete occasionally on this show, and I'm here with another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast. New episodes every Wednesday, and just like every Wednesday before, I am joined by my co-host, my cohort, my buddy, Superjaz.
The funny thing about co-host and cohort, minus the hyphen, is if you just change one letter, you get a different word.
And that, folks, is why he bears watching. What?
That's the reason. Because I know the English language fairly well, can conjugate sentences and find the root of words. What? Anyway.
Hey, you're always good for a nice, nugget of information. In addition to your other reasons that you bear watching.
Nugget of something else. Anyway, no. I was gonna say real quick too, before I introduce myself. I was hoping you would, and kudos on doing the best to actually hit the low and the high notes of the different falsetto and bass in the Temptation Singers. That was
well, the letter
dope.
was I, so I figured that's the
But I
perfect
mean,
example to keep using I. Yeah.
Yeah. Now if you would have found something that was igloos or isthmus, if you would have found some shit like that, that'd have been very impressive. But then again, I didn't do that for movie quotes. So
No, I just decided to repeat I 80,000 times.
I didn't even think about that. Yes, but without all that rigmarole, yes, everyone. I am, as he said, the other co-host of the show. I go by the name of Jazz, or you may call me Superjaz, SJ, JT, whatever you want, what have you in the like. And as my co-host said, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead the conversation. The conversation leads us. We let the chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday.
Word to your mother. What was the vanilla?
Like vanilla ice. More I words.
Word to your mother.
Oh, is that what he did when he said it?
Yeah, because it was the Vanilla Ice V. Because this is like the Star Wars V. I mean Star Trek V.
Uh-oh.
the live long and prosper Vulcan shit.
Ow.
And I know that's weird.
Ow.
That's weird doing that.
Ow.
It's weird doing that shit.
Ow. It hurts less with this hand, but ow. And he wonders why he didn't stick around.
Some years back, I realized I could kind of do this thing.
Oh,
you could
the knuckles?
Yeah. Bend the first digit.
Just the first digit. No, I can do it with all my fingers.
No, but that's what I mean. Like bending the first digit without bending the second digit.
Well,
you're doing it here.
Hop the knuckle in like this. It's double jointedness. Right. It's the lamest form of double jointed, but congrats, we're double jointed.
Oh damn! Fuck you!
I said we.
Yeah, so
I said we, sir.
That'd be like if I say, yeah, man, I suck. We both suck. It's like just because you included it don't mean you gotta fucking.
Well, I said we are double jointed, but it's not the cool double jointed where you can like dislocate your shoulder like willingly and just be like, hey, oh, you broke your shoulder. JK, I'm double jointed. It's nothing like that. It's haha. This is like the most common thing. It's like doing this with your tongue, though.
That's not
everybody
super
can do.
If you could do
that's
like
not impressive, and neither is this because so many people can do it.
If you can do like the trifold clover shit with the tongue, that's impressive. I can't do that. The people who are just like listening and not watching right now, like what are we even doing?
Is this it?
No. Very much close. Now you're getting close. Now you're getting close. You look like the biggest dumbass.
Ow!
Yo, you look like the biggest dumbass. I had to get that out because what the fuck?
I was trying to do the thing. Is that what you're talking about? Where you fold it and then you fold it?
They folded like three different like folds in it.
And then like. It hurts. It hurts.
It shouldn't hurt. What the fuck?
Well, it's not natural.
But it shouldn't hurt. The whole point of doing tricks and being double jointed, you never seen nobody do some shit like, the whole pop your elbow in back and forth shit, because my cousin could do that.
Yeah, see, that's actual cool double jointedness.
But she don't do that and say, ow, this hurt.
High five.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, ow, that's painful. You don't see, don't a contortionist take their leg.
I'll put it this way. Well, no, nor do you see people do this and say, ow. But, except for maybe me, but I do that anyway. I say ow a lot. Might as well call me Troy, because I'm an ache man. I'm in pain a lot.
I don't know. Oh, okay. That took me a second.
Troy Aikman's a football player.
I know.
Would you rather I say, call me Clay, because I be aching?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so I said call me Troy because I'm an
I wouldn't rather either of those. I would rather these jokes not be made.
I'm the ache man. That's what I am. I'm the ache man. I got the master plan.
Oh my God!
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah.
Oh shit! I can't get mad at you for making dumbass jokes like this though, because there's a whole segment on, if not the last episode, I think 2 episodes ago, where I just fucking started telling all types of just corny ass quote unquote dad jokes.
What do you see, Jazz World?
Male figure palindrome offspring having jokes.
Male figure palindrome offspring having.
I mean, that is,
the patriarchal palindrome. Then you throw in alliteration.
Patriarchal what?
Palindrome.
Okay, because Saga said palindrome.
I think you're a scrub. How about that? Another Iowa.
Well, I can't do this all on my own. No, see, I'm no Superjaz. Oh, wait.
Oh, shit. You're not? And here I thought the whole secret identity was out. My bad. You're not Superjaz.
I can't do this all on my own. Now, I know I'm no Superman.
You've just been pretending you're a Superjaz?
The last season of that show was not good. And what I mean is
9 or 8?
9, because 8 was good. Like, the show in and of itself was good. When JD and everybody left and then came back to be like the teachers who were helping the new, it was like, I see y'all trying to continue it. I respect it, but nah.
Yeah, you might as well have just let everybody stay. I just kept it around them. It's the same thing with Naruto and Boruto. It's like Kishimoto, I get it. You couldn't let it go that you ended your series Naruto, so here's a series with Naruto's son where we keep all the characters but they're adults now. You might as well have just kept Naruto going. If Naruto's still gonna exist in his universe, at least Avatar in Legend of Korra. Spoilers for people who don't know, but then again, if you know anything about Avatar, you probably would have guessed if somebody else is the Avatar. At least Aang was fucking dead when they did Legend of Korra.
And it's fair when it's like, you know, it doesn't it feels like if you keep a show going when people get older and get to new points in their life, it's fair when it genuinely seems like a continuation of the story, as opposed to we're just trying to repackage the same shit.
Or we're continuing.
That's what that felt like.
We're continuing the story of the universe, but all our actors are like trying to leave. But we kind of want the money from you watching. But to keep you watching, we'll have the old people keep coming back. But then you're just like, where are the rest of the old people? We don't like these new people. Get these new people off my screen. People don't like change. That's what it is.
No, that's just it's just tell them that it's human nature. Why? What? But no, it's human nature to kind of buck change. That's like real talk. Because what was I gonna say? Like Rugrats all grown up. The initial special before it became a show really felt prestigious when they were like, you're gonna get to see Rugrats 10 years, you know, into the future, and you get to see them, you know, in like middle school and shit. It was like, oh shit, you know, 11, 12, you know, 13. I think Chucky was 2, so he's like the only like 12-year-old or whatever. But it was like, oh shit, you know, they're like older. But then when they made a show out of it, it worked for a little bit, but the novelty quickly wore off. Because again, it kind of felt like a rehashing of the same show.
Novelty wore off for me with the movie.
No, with the novelty, unfortunately, because I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. The novelty very much wore off when Dill got added to the show. I agree.
Okay, I misphrased what I was saying. The original all grown up thing, I was not a fan.
You didn't like
because it was, and I'll tell you why. It's the dumbest reason ever. It's called All Grown Up, and all they did was turn 10.
Because they grew up, bitch.
How is that all grown up? You're still a fucking kid.
What did you want them to be like 21 and
if
22?
You're gonna call it all grown up, be some grown ass people. Now I watched it. I was still semi-high. I wasn't 5 when it came out, by the way.
No, I was. You cut me off. Go ahead. You weren't 5 when the
you might have been.
Not when All Grown Up came out.
Okay, I'm just saying you might have been.
No, not when All Grown Up came out. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah. So I still was hyped like other people, at least a little bit. My hype got cut when I found out, oh, they're not even teenagers. They're just like 10. Oh, okay. But I still watched it. It was still okay. I did not need a TV show based off of it. If I wanted to watch 11 or 12-year-olds deal with elementary school problems, I'd watch Doug. Oh, wait.
Deal with elementary school problems? Not middle school problems?
We're not gonna get into this whole argument.
I realized. Rather, I said that I realized we had a whole episode, how many episodes ago, talking about the difference and all that shit. So I wasn't even trying to do that.
Because I was like, and to be fair, I know you weren't trying to do it because I was getting ready to respond. I'm like, why does it fucking matter? They're like, of course this. And they're like, oh wait, no. We said this.
But no, what I was gonna say was, when you were 5, when you turned 12, which is 7 years later, that would be more grown up than 5.
Was it called Rugrats More Grown Up?
I knew when I said more, I knew you were gonna hone in on more.
See, the whole basis of my argument was honing in on the word "all." Why wouldn't I hone in on the word "more"?
So if they would have just said Rugrats grown up, that would have been cool with you.
I'm gonna say conceptually, I get the idea. When you're a kid and you're 1, once you're 11, you think, "Holy shit, Time moves a lot slower when you're younger. So yes, 11, you compared to age 1 where you have no memories, you're all grown up. You're like, I don't even remember that time. I haven't come a long way. It's been 11 years. You know, so I get it conceptually. I just didn't like it as a kid because I focused on the logical thing. But it's all grown up. I want to see what they're like, you know, as adults. But that, like I said, that was back then. And I said I was okay with the movie. The movie was fine. It was a nice one-off thing. I'm agreeing with you that I didn't need the TV show. The TV show, I think that was when I really got upset with it. Oh, and really got upset is an exaggeration. But that's kind of where I really got upset was when they took it from a one-time special and made it a TV show called All Grown Up. And they were still like 10. It's like, what are we doing?
The age never bothered me because, like I said, like all grown up, I just look at it as like, you know, they're all grown up from, you know, being like, you know, infancy. But like I said, it took away the prestigiousness. That's not a word, but it took away the prestige of it when you take it from a special, because we had seen them as babies for so long. This big Rugrats in and of itself, in a sense, was a phenomenon. So we had this whole phenomenon of Rugrats. Oh shit, the kids are talking. Oh, you know, all this like big deal and shit. But we had only seen them as babies. So then when you finally see them older, and it was like this like TV movie, it was like, you know, special because it was like, oh shit, that's what Chucky looks like. Oh shit, because Chucky had the overbite, so grown-up Chucky had like braces and shit. You know, like you was like, oh shit, like this makes so much sense. You know, Angelica, like I think wasn't, but was trying to be the popular girl, which made sense. You know, all this shit.
She wasn't the popular girl. That's hilarious.
I don't think she was. I could be wrong about that. She definitely had a bratty attitude though. Definitely still.
Did she, or did she like start being more cool with the others, or was she still? Annoying.
I think later on this is how much we don't remember the fucking like movie, the TV movie. But I think later on she started being like chill because she realized she needed to quit tripping. I forget though.
And it's like, well, yeah, like people naturally grow over time and they learn their lessons. But when your whole character, the whole point of your character is your character flaw, and that's that you're an annoying.
You don't want to say a certain word about a child. You don't want to say
individual.
A child.
You know, the individual.
Because this person technically never hit the age of 18.
Like when that's your whole thing, and then all of a sudden it's like it was a good character moment for her if this happened, because I think it did. And you think it did, but neither of us has seen this thing in about the same amount of time, in like double the amount of time that the time skip happened in the show. I don't think either of us have seen this shit in like 20 years. But I'm pretty sure she learned her lesson at the end of that thing and was like, all right, we're all buddies now. And we've definitely, character-wise, we have all grown up. Here's our character development. Now here's a TV show where we all regress because, damn it, we got to keep the standard. And it's like, wait, what? So there were just lots of things involving that where I was just like, this ain't for me.
It takes away the prestige. It takes away the prestige of it when you take it from a movie, because you're like, we've seen everybody as a one-off, but then you realize, oh, it's not that special. Because again, this isn't a wrestling podcast, but it's like it took away the prestige of Rock and John Cena finally meeting in the ring. Once in a lifetime.
Twice in a lifetime.
And it's like, well, bitch, what the fuck? We can do this shit again. But, you know, like...
Part of the reason Punk left.
Huh?
Part of the reason Punk left.
I didn't even know that.
At least I think so. Because he got mad that he wasn't, like, main event when he was Undertaker. And that was the twice in the Lifeline year. Or twice in a lifetime year where he fought Taker and they weren't the main event. That was part of the reason he left.
Well, shit, part of the reason that Jericho left was because he wasn't like main event, or at the very least, like, you know, like what they call the curtain joker, like opening match with him and Kevin Owens when they were doing the whole festival friendship and the whole like you made the list shit.
Yeah, I think both of them leaving, and just about everybody that willingly left WWE to go to AEW, their whole thing was, not necessarily that they weren't the guy, but it's like when we were the hottest storyline going,
and we just got shoved to the
you
side.
just treated it like it was nothing because you had your own agenda. And then you sit here and tell us grab that fucking brass ring, which is why AEW has that sarcastic ass brass ring ladder match. But yes, let's not get too much into wrestling.
I'm about to say
to go into other stuff. But yeah, like when you have that prestige of a thing, also, you know, real quick since we mentioned wrestling, thank you Triple H, blah blah blah. He retired recently.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit after the announcement, but yes,
yes, but still, I said recently.
One of the best to ever fucking do it, hands down. Clearly one of the best face or heel, but heel wise, one of the best.
An hour earlier that day, I was talking to some new kids at my job, and and I mentioned something about wrestling and stuff, and we started talking about some of the old school wrestling things, and one guy's like, okay, y'all are mentioning wrestling, but y'all are failing to mention my dog Triple H. I feel like he deserves some respect. I'm like, oh no, I love Triple H. And then like half hour later, I get the text from my roommate about Triple H announcing his retirement. I'm like, damn, timing. Why aren't y'all mentioning Triple H?
Hands down, solidified.
Backstage politics or whatever. He still went out there and man tore his quads like 8 times. So you can't say he didn't put in his work to get to where he got.
Very good. It definitely not just because of who he was married to or nothing like that. No, it was a lot of talent.
Also, marriage is a lot of work in and of itself.
That's fair.
And when you're marrying the daughter of a millionaire, so you really have to earn that. He's a billionaire. Is he back to being a billionaire?
I didn't know Vince stopped being a billionaire.
No, remember that was another thing that people were saying about Vince. A lot of the people that were like, Vince is a millionaire that should be a billionaire. He might have been a billionaire at one point, but he also spent a lot of... Pretty sure XFL hurt his wallet a lot more than it should have. Like, I think he got knocked back down to millionaire status. Don't get me wrong, dude's still swimming in money regardless. That's what I'm saying. But... He got knocked down back to millionaire status a while back because he made a lot of bad decisions. But recently he might be back up at billionaire. Whatever. When you're trying to marry the daughter of a woman who has a lot of money, so you really don't have anything to offer her in that department, or and Stephanie may not be the hottest woman on the planet or anything, but she is nothing. She is nothing to slouch at.
Oh, Stephanie's fine.
Okay. No, I'm just saying. Let's be honest. Yeah. She's nothing to slouch at. Like, I would be fine with that. Like, so she can have anybody that she wants. She can have anybody that she wants. And therefore, you got to earn that shit. Especially when she's the daughter of a billionaire. It's like, what do you have to offer her? It's like Jay-Z getting with Beyonce. Okay.
Yeah.
Beyonce could have anybody that she wants, but she ended up with Jay-Z. Why? Because he worked his ass off and became one of the biggest rappers in the world, as well as whatever they did personally and all that stuff.
Right, all the other stuff we don't know about. Right,
but I'm saying, even with all of that, his what's that? His ugly ass.
Yo.
She could have gotten any other rapper that was successful that looked better than Jay-Z.
I'm more so not just laughing because you said it. I'm laughing because you caught yourself. His because
I was like, his ugly.
What made it so funny was you caught yourself because of how naturally it almost left your mouth. Like his whoa.
Because I think when I was younger, that was the thought I had. I was like, this ugly mother. Well, Jay-Z's not that bad looking of an individual. But you wouldn't necessarily, on first look, be like, yeah, he could get a Beyonce. And before people are like, who are you to judge people? I'm a guy that, objectively speaking, is about an 8 out of 10 when he's like actually in a suit and stuff. Now, if I lost weight, it might be an 8.5. But more commonly, I'm like a 6 out of 10. And that's fine. I know what my league is. And that is what it is. So I'm not trying to be like, oh yes, as a as a pillar of perfection myself, I deem Jay-Z an ugly ass motherfucker. No, I'm not saying anything like
Can we
that.
not keep going
I'm
down
saying,
this road?
I'm saying Jay-Z
is
at his best is about the same look-wise that I am. And I would not be able to get a Beyonce. So
Please
I
give
wouldn't
me the
expect
show.
a
Give
Jay-Z
me the
to get a
show.
Beyonce. You ain't have a topic to start with either, okay? This is
I
what we're
know,
talking about
but
now.
you ain't gotta
We're just
keep talking about- I'm not
random
trying to call
stuff
him
like
ugly.
the show is going, okay? I'm
No,
not calling
saying
him atrocious.
I'm not trying to call him
saying
ugly
he
while
does not
like
look any
he-
better than I do. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying
not
he
tripping on it.
earned
It's
all
just
his
funny.
success. I'm
I'm
saying
not
he
tripping on it.
earned
It's just
all
funny.
his success.
It's the whole thing of like.
In rap,
I'm not
in
trying to
love,
say
in
that you're
life.
stupid, because if I said you were stupid, then that would mean that you were unintelligent. And I don't want to call you it's like
He did a lot of big pimping and spending cheese to get to where he's at. It was a very hard knock life for him up there in Hova. However, I don't care.
I was hoping you were gonna say more songs. That's why I was going to interrupt
I
you earlier.
mean, took a lot of navigating that concrete jungle, but you know what? Dreams are made there, and now he's brand new with his, very successful wife, and he's laughing at everybody, and that's good for him. I don't have any more Jay-Z songs references.
I couldn't fucking
I can't say
tell.
no black album, rap album. I can say that he's got a mustache like a rat. Compared to jeans, he's whack. I mean, that's what Nas said, at least.
So more
I'm sorry,
shit to
with
say he's
whiskers
ugly.
like a rat. Compared to
More
jeans,
shit
he's
to
whack.
say he's
No,
ugly.
I'm saying that's another song reference I can think, but that's from a diss track. I will not lose. Which
Ether is the name of the diss track that Nas made.
well, whatever song it was, where
But
he's
he
like,
said, I will not
that
lose.
was the fucking chorus.
Yes, but I'm just saying the name of the song. No, this is not one of those, dude. That's one of the most famous diss tracks of all time. One of the most famous songs around that era.
With this guy going Jay-Z. So yes, it was definitely targeted at that guy.
No, but what I'm saying is so it's not like why you harping on. It's like that's the chorus, no shit. It's like, but the only reason I'm making a big deal is because that is one of them diss tracks that like everybody know the name of that bitch.
Okay. I apologize
of a certain
to the
age,
rap
and we are of a
community
certain
for
age.
mispronouncing the name of the Nas song. I will go ahead and go on record if I haven't already. I am not a rap historian. All right. I'm not an acting historian, and I'm a fucking actor.
Neither am I.
But you're far more of a rap historian than myself, sir.
I've studied the fuck out of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, who is your? Did I ask you this on the podcast? I don't know. If I did, we could move to something else. Who is your favorite rapper?
You've asked me in the past, and I don't know if I gave you a correct answer. Or I gave you an answer. I don't remember what that answer was because, like most opinion-based things, I'm like, depends on what you mean by that.
Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, why the fuck you sound like fucking like shit, fucking Vegeta or somebody when they scared or some shit like, oh my god.
I don't know about Vegeta, but
Vegeta was the best I could think of, but then I was like,
I don't know because I just had this I was gonna say I know everybody has this opinion of me, which I think we talked in a previous episode about me and my opinion of everybody else's opinion of myself. But I feel like everybody knows that I don't have a lot of solid opinions, or when I go on record about my opinions of things that aren't, certain individuals, I'm usually a bit wishy-washy about like, well, that depends on what you mean, because I do a lot of safe talking. So I don't remember who I said my favorite rapper was.
Do we want to go down this road again? Do we want to go down this road?
And I don't have any problem with Jay-Z. I'm just saying I clearly don't know enough of Jay-Z for Jay-Z to be my favorite rapper. I like a lot of his songs, but I think I said Outkast.
I was gonna say, do we want to go down the road?
I'm pretty sure I said Outkast.
Or do we want to?
No, I'm pretty sure I said Outkast.
Okay, well, your favorite rapper.
Andre, if I had to pick between the members of Outkast.
Everybody, like, Andre 3000 is in a lot of people's, like, top 10.
M is up there as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is, like, Eminem is such a interesting like character as far as like rap goes, because what I mean is like his first three albums are so classic that if he were to have stopped right then, that man would be considered beyond legendary, damn near untouchable. I still say to this day, what fucked Eminem up was the fourth album he put out, which was Encore, because at the time, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show was so good. Everybody was like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" And you know, of course, there's a whole thing of white people. He even made the song "White America" talking about I'm white, so maybe that's why I grabbed whatever. But that does factor into it. But he was almost seen like, who the fuck is this dude that can do this shock value but make it like coherent, do multisyllabics, wordplay, all this shit, and he's a white dude and all this stuff and everything, and it was like so different, whatever. And he did Encore, and everybody was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That's the one he did with Linkin Park, right?
So I always say that if he hadn't done Encore and everything else went the way it did, which I think after Encore was like Relapse, then Recovery, and then all the other shit, I don't think people would have been questioning how good Eminem is after they thought he was amazing as soon or quickly in his career as they did. But you could tell by the fourth album, when you are the top selling artist, I believe the top selling music artist, period, of the 2000s, definitely rap artist, but I believe period musically. By that time, the record label is like, bro, whatever you want to do it. So when this man wanted to come out with a fucking album, talk about I forgot my name and all this other wild shit, everybody was like, well, you know what? Whatever you want to do, him. And then come to find out, that's when everybody was like, what the fuck is this? Now, of course, my middle school ass, who all of us middle school kids, obviously, I'm a little younger than you, so you were in high school at the time, but all those middle school kids had no business listening to Eminem anyway. My middle school ass, when he was doing all this wild, silly saying whatever shit, I was like, this is great. I look back at Encore and I'm like,
I was totally about to say, I'm like, I don't remember buying Encore or anything like that. But I didn't remember Encore being a bad album or a career-breaking album like this. But again, I'm not a rap historian.
I
can't even name 5 Jay-Z songs.
Encore had that song, "Mama had a baby in his head, bob doll, bit bob doll, bit bob doll." He was being with I think Just Lose It was on there.
Just Lose It.
No, listen to what I'm gonna say. Listen to what I'm gonna say. Whether it was bad or not, he had a lot of songs on there that didn't feel very Eminem, and he had a lot of songs on there definitely that were just he was being very silly, and Eminem realized, unfortunately, that based off of the persona that he created, which was wacky and crazy and wild in and of itself, he realized that there was only a certain level of silly that he could ever really be and be taken serious in mainstream hip hop.
Oh no, I was gonna say I understand. I'm in the minority when it comes to people that like that song. Just lose it. I think just because I saw somebody else. I saw somebody else talking about like how that's the song that ruined Eminem for them and stuff like that.
That's what I said. Mainstream hip hop. Yeah.
I love Just Lose It. I still love Just Lose It. I'll die on that. I'll die on that hill. I like that song. Sure, why not? It's not the best rap song ever. No,
it's a cool song for what it is.
It's not even the best Eminem song ever, but I like the song.
Like I said, the thing is, when you got songs that dig very deep into not just Eminem's psyche, but dig deep into like almost social commentary with white America. You got songs that were, and I'm not saying just for me. I'm saying like in general.
I know.
You got songs that were like challenging, the political shit at the time with like Mosh. Well, you got songs that were like, hitting deep with like Stan.
And this is again why I will go ahead and continue to state.
I'm not saying for me.
I don't have good opinions on things. I like shit that entertains me. I like shit that entertains me. So I don't necessarily care. And I get you just said not about you, but we're talking about we're talking about the objective, look at
objectively,
things. Objectively looking at entertainment. the better things, objectively, are the things that are thought-provoking, social commentary, sad, psychological, blah, 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 oh God, life is so fucking terrible. But I don't think that's that fucking hard to do. I'm sorry.
You don't think it's hard to do that? I'll let you go off. Go off.
Fucking sucks.
Say what you gotta say.
Life has sucked since the beginning of fucking time. The only guaranteed things in life are fucking the fact that you're going to die. I can't even say taxes because if you're rich enough, you can avoid those too. So life is suffering, life is shit, life is sad. Telling somebody life is sad or that the world is misbalanced or off shot is like telling somebody the sky is fucking blue today. Yes it is. Life is sad. I could be depressed and be sad and go to you to tell me how sad life is, or you could try to get me to be distracted from how fucking sad it is. Make me laugh. Make me enjoy my fucking life. That's a lot easier. Oh, sorry, a lot more difficult to escape. That's why it's called escapism. Because you're escaping the shittiness of your life by going to something that you can enjoy. So I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm saying the fact that the goofy or funny stuff is looked down on so fucking much because it's not political commentary, it's not extra sad. So that album is one of the shittiest things it ever did and ruined the man's career because he didn't do enough social commentary or talk about how sad life is. And at the same time, and again, I'm not talking about you. You stated your opinion and I respect your opinion. I get it. And I prefaced this conversation by saying my opinion is weird and I understand that. I like funny shit. I'm sorry. I like funny shit, and I even apologize to the fucking trap community because I didn't realize trap and mumble rap were the same thing by saying I get it now. It's just turn your brain off, shut up, and enjoy life music. Yeah. Well, but I wasn't so sure about trap because I haven't listened to it enough, and I was under the impression that trap was shut up and hate life music. But be depressed. I thought it was more on the depressing side than the have fun side, as opposed to like crunk, which was all about having fun. Yeah, shut up and party, y'all. I got some alcohol today.
Crunk and trap pretty much hand in hand, but just two different generations like spin on it. Like crunk and trap are both about like vibing and partying.
And again, I thought trap was more depressing. And not about partying, but once realizing it's just shut up and enjoy the fucking vibe, if you will.
Basically, yes, exactly.
And I get that. And I have no problem with that because I think that stuff does have a place in this thing. And if a person made like 3 or 4 albums of social commentary, look how sad life is music, and they want to make an album where they're just like, you know what, I want to have fun for an album. And people are like, and that's why you were never a good rapper to begin with. You just did this shitty thing. I thought you were real. I thought you did social commentary. And it's like, damn, you just go to disrespect all the stuff you did before? Okay, and now I can't speak on Eminem's modern day music, and I'm not going to die on a hill defending Eminem's place on the Mount Rushmore of rappers. I really don't give a fuck, okay? I can't even tell you my own Mount Rushmore of actors, rappers, let alone other Mount Rushmore of rappers. Rap is a fantastic genre. I love me some rap music, but again, I'm not going to sit here and die on any hill about a rap opinion of what is the greatest. I'm not going to die on a hill on what is the greatest thing of anything. I will listen to an argument. I will argue my case. I will argue that Dragon Ball Z is, the greatest shonen manga or series of all time. But I will also tell you that when you go, but what about this series? What about the literature in that? This thing doesn't make sense. I'll go, you know what? You're right. At the same time, for me, this is my favorite thing. And you also can't deny that all the shit that people like, not all, but a lot of, especially the shonen shit people like today, they just want to be fucking Dragon Balls. Even fucking One Piece. And it's compared to Dragon Ball from a literature standpoint, One Piece is leaps and bounds ahead. However, at the end of the day, Luffy is just Pirate Goku. It is what it is. Naruto is better literary than Dragon Ball, but at the end of the day, Naruto is just Ninja Goku. And if you don't believe me, you can go see the interviews where Oda, the writer for One Piece, had where he's talking with Toriyama and he's just fanboying over him the whole time. Like, boy, one of the best things I ever saw earlier was like how you draw armpits. Man, armpits, you draw them with so much detail, and I just was like, I need to be an artist. What the fuck? But at the end of the day, if you think... So work had this anime day thing, and in the email they sent to everybody, they're like, did you know Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the greatest shonen anime of all time? While they tried to talk about different genres, and I'm like, I respectfully disagree. Also, from a literature standpoint, I'll give Full Metal Alchemist that it's better than Dragon Ball from a literature standpoint. But you want to talk success, you want to talk impact, you want to talk about defining a genre, I guess is what I'm talking about when it comes to Dragon Ball. People who don't watch anime at all, damn near everybody who has any inkling of anime's existence knows that, or has at least heard the term Super Saiyan.
And knows Goku.
And knows who the fuck Goku is.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Like, and at the end of the day, I guess that's where I'm talking about. Like, you can't deny the success, the impact, the longevity, and, you know, cultural relevance of Dragon Ball. I'm not going to talk about the details of all this stuff in the minutia. It's the same thing with, like, basketball. Jordan, most decorated, best player, you know, he's the GOAT to me. He's the GOAT to a lot of people, as he should be. My argument when it comes to fucking LeBron is, can we stop acting like the motherfucker can't do shit just because Jordan existed? Can we not act like all these accomplishments LeBron has or nothing just because people are like... People get mad when other people say that LeBron is, like, second. They're like, he shouldn't even be in the conversation with Jordan. And I'm like, well, you gotta understand. Times fucking change. And if people want to tell me that LeBron's the fucking GOAT, I'm gonna be like, I like MJ more, but I get where you're coming from. Because the motherfucker just keeps racking up records at this point. And at some point, you have to be like, okay, the only real category that I can look at and say this definitively, if we're looking objectively at everything, makes Jordan better than LeBron is the whole fact that Jordan's undefeated in championship series, 6-0, and LeBron's 4-6. Now, 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. So LeBron fucking made it to the finals like 6 more, or, you know, 4 more times than Jordan did. So so you can make that argument, which I can understand the people where LeBron's they go. They're like, well, how many times did Jordan get? Shannon Sharp is a former football player that's now a commentator or, you know, sports talker with Skip Bayless on their own show. Shannon Sharp is full blown on the LeBron, GOAT James, GOAT, puts on a GOAT mask and flexes with his muscles that are way too big for like a 50-year-old, but, you know, good on him. He's just like, LeBron James the GOAT, blah, 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 blah. And he makes the good argument that Michael Jordan was bounced in the first rounds of the playoffs numerous times before he finally got on that streak of time where he just kept going to the finals repeatedly. LeBron James didn't lose in the first round of the playoffs until last year. It was either he didn't make it at all, which I think only happened like 3 times out of the 19-year career the man has had, or he was going like deep / into the finals. The man shut out a conference for making it to the finals for almost a whole decade. So you want to tell me LeBron James is the GOAT? I'm like, I can see where you're coming from. But objectively, Michael Jordan, accomplishment-wise, got more when it comes to championships. I've gone off on a tangent. I got mad about something. I don't even remember the original thing. I think I was just trying to defend the fact that I have an opinion, even if it's necessarily wrong to you. And I'm saying I can, I guess at the end of the day, I can objectively agree that your opinion is better, or what the objective answer is. But I can also argue my case. And everyone can argue their own case as to why. While objectively you may be correct, I like this thing more. I like blue more than I like the color red. Is red objectively a better color? Maybe. You can make all the arguments in the world, and I may go, yeah, you're right. Red is objectively a better color than blue. I like blue more. I think
Well,
blue has its own impact. Water, sky, they ain't red, is they? Sorry, that was more of a joke than anything. But anyway, so how are you today?
No, I didn't want to interrupt you because you went on a whole.
I'm sorry.
You went on a whole.
What caused that?
You ain't gotta apologize.
What caused that?
You went on a whole little like tangent for a minute. Eventually you got riled up, and then like you said, you forgot like the initial thing, and it kind of showed that you forgot the initial thing because you went from very, very, very much talking about the initial thing to somewhat talking about it.
It was rapping, right? Who's the greatest rapper of all time?
No. The initial thing, and I have like something to say. It's not so much like a rebuttal of what you said because rebuttal means that I'm like somewhat contesting it. But no, you were talking about not just rapping, but we started talking about Eminem, and that made you think about escapism versus social commentary.
Oh, yes.
So not escapism, but something comedic versus something
I think I hijacked your conversation about rap.
Oh, great.
With the conversation or a topic about serious versus comedy. And at the end of the day, I understand because let's talk objectiveness again. That's how it all ties back to objectivity versus what I like. Objectively, you are correct. Conveying sadness and stuff, I guess it is harder and requires more respect than comedy. Because I made a silly face. Anybody can make a silly face. You don't believe I can make a silly face? I've decorated my damn room with it. Not really, but I have 2 instances of my face on camera right now. The bottom line is anybody can make a silly face. Anybody can laugh. So maybe I was wrong. In fact, I was definitely wrong to say that comedy was harder than tragedy. At the same time, I don't feel like tragedy is as hard. I don't feel like it is as hard to make people sad as you want to believe. Society, that is, not you, Jess, but society. And trying to be like, hey, this person made an album that they enjoyed themselves on and did goofy shit with is the thing that made everyone go, yeah, he didn't actually have it to begin with because he didn't stay on the social commentary serious train is a little bit silly in my...
What I'll say off of that is, before I get to the more broad spectrum of the topic, I'll say to the specific issues of like specificities of what we're talking about with the whole thing with Eminem and all that. I do agree, and it hasn't really like, he definitely has a huge fan base that, the man there are some celebrities where, like I say, Lady Gaga is one of them, Eminem is one of them, shit, Jay-Z, Beyonce, where they could damn near like release a whole album where it's just them farting into the microphone and some people would say it was amazing. They got some fans that it don't matter what they do. But I'm not saying that they take away the talent of any of the 4 people I named because they all are amazing performers. But what I was saying with the Eminem thing is, like I said, just to get to the specifics, is I agree that this is just from what I've seen, that it seemed to like make people kind of get a sour taste in their mouth from him. But I agree that it's a little silly that all of a sudden, and that happens to a lot of other people anyway, but all of a sudden it's almost like everything that you did, the slate got wiped clean, almost like you never did that shit. Like I said, I watch battle rap, and they always say, and the battlers know this too, they always like a common quote that gets thrown around in battle rap is, you're only as good as your last battle. Because it's like, no matter what you did beforehand, recency bias is a thing. Mm-hmm. And people will be like, oh, well, you might have had, this whole run of like 7 battles where you were just killing people, just saying shit that, how did you even put that shit together? You had one battle where you said 3 things that were corny that are not genuinely corny than the motherfucker, and that was like
1 homie, 2 homies.
Well, I don't know like what he said before that. But anyway, I don't know the battles before that. I'm just
saying he was apparently a legend before that, and afterwards he's a joke because he talked about how many homies he's got.
The problem with that one,
No,
just
I
to
get it.
sidetrack off of what I was saying, but the problem
I
with
have a
that
better
issue,
example than him, but I'm just.
but I was gonna say the problem with that issue is at the time, and maybe even still now, but at that time, definitely that was his most famous battle. That was the like on a scale of exposure. So that's what hurt his ass is all this other shit, but everybody really saw this one. Anyway, no. Like I say, so the whole thing with M is I do agree that it is silly that genuinely one of the best to ever do it changed the game. He brought a lot of elements to rap as far as like metal, shock value. Because people were doing horrorcore, but people weren't doing like the horrorcore, like shock value, like I'm gonna kill you, you know, wild shit like that on a mainstream level. So he brought that to it. He was the first credible white rapper, like credible, you know, because you had, you know, like Snow, no offense, Informer is a cool song, but you had, you know, Ice Ice Baby, but, you know, credible white rapper and shit like that. And a lot of people like multisyllabics. People were doing multisyllabics heavy. Nas does multisyllabics and shit like that. But the way he was, you know, flipping words and shit. So he changed the game. People like write like him. Sometimes when I'm in the booth and I might be doing a song a certain way and I want to get a certain type of emotion of like a certain type of anger, because early M was angry as fuck. I try to think like, okay, how would M maybe go about tackling this, depending on what mode I want to get. Like I did write a song where I was writing some like crazy imagery early on when I was learning how to rap, and I was like, you know, being like, damn, how does Eminem get this emotion across? Anyway, on the broad scale, it's funny that you made a whole thing because you got so emotional about it, but then you ended up chilling out and being like, maybe I needed to calm down. What were you gonna say?
Another example to support your thing about one thing canceling a history of success: MMA. You can take Ronda Rousey. I'll use Ronda Rousey as a good example, and Conor McGregor. I'll use both of them. They each had like a good year, 2 year stretch where they were just shitting on everybody that stepped into the ring with them. Ronda finally loses a match. Suddenly she's a fraud. And, you know, she tried to capitalize. She did the smart thing career wise, in my opinion, of I've already proved I'm legitimate in the octagon. Let me go do pro wrestling. Because let me keep this undefeated thing and capitalize it. If people want to question whether or not I'm legit, there's a thing back there. But a lot of the MMA heads are like, oh, she wasn't that good to begin with. She was overrated. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. When he finally went to MMA and he had his reign of terror that finally ended, and people are like, well, he wasn't that good to begin with. He lost, didn't he?
Part of the issue with Ronda at the time she was having her run, though, was to a lot of people, you know, and whether fair or not, but to a lot of people, what she was kind of doing outside of the actual like matches, like not tapping gloves, and what she was starting to say in interviews and stuff like that, people were getting soured on Ronda Rousey from how she was coming off. So it was almost like, because I agree with you saying, but it was almost like the reason why she got knocked off the pedestal so quickly was because people were almost ready to kick her off of that shit. Not tapping gloves when they say touch gloves. It's like, come on, tap the fucking. But we ain't gonna go down that road. So anyway, what I was gonna say though was like I was saying. So the broad spectrum of is you know, comedy easier, is social commentary, is drama easier, you know, which is more difficult, which is more gripping. I think that art in and of itself, whatever it is, whether it be visual art, like painting, sculptures, whether it be dancing, like there's the music, stuff like that, movies, there is definitely a huge level of, like you said, escapism in it. But a lot of what makes art, you know, a big deal too, is that a lot of you want to tap into it, and you want to it's almost like finding a level art air of relatability. So that is when you get the whole thing of like, you hear a song and it's just like, so and so, you know, wow, I put this on, man, and so and so is saying this shit, and they're more eloquent than me, but that's the same shit I'm thinking, and they just found a better words to say it. So it's like Gangstar, for example, rap wise, Gangstar, rest in peace to Guru, DJ Premier Guru. I sound like a rap historian. That's funny as shit. But Gangstar, that's why I'm laughing. But Gangstar, I think, did a good job of making stuff that was very relatable. And as far as like how they did it, and it was gripping. Like they got that one song, "Moment of Truth." Nobody's untouchable. No man is foolproof. We almost meet our moment of truth, you know, and all that shit. And it's like, yeah, because it's relatable. Eventually, everybody's gonna die, and it's the whole thing of I get what you're saying. Like, no shit, everybody's gonna die. No shit, that life is hard, stuff like that. But
if you want to be sad, look out the window.
I agree, but I'm saying some
in some
what
cases, look in the mirror.
But what I'm saying is, well, some of that is it ties into people wanting to hear a air of relatability, or like, you know, things being relatable and shit like that. Now if we go back to Eminem, you know, just to be like, you know, anecdotal in the sense that if we look at him, Eminem before Encore wasn't real, and even now wasn't really known for social commentary anyway. He just put out a song or two that was socially conscious, like Mosh, because he really hated Bush at the time, White America because of, you know, how he got on and, you know, being white, shit like that. But most of his stuff was shock value, and he put out some stuff that was gripping and deep. And Eminem is one of the best storytellers in rap, shit like that. So social commentary wasn't the big thing. Like, you're not necessarily gonna look to Tupac to see a song where he's lyrically destroying the track. You're gonna look to Eminem to see a song where he's lyrically destroying the track, and look to Tupac for social commentary. So what I more so was saying, not that it was bad to go down a tangent, because what, like you said, some, you know, it was cool, but the thing that I think is, I'm finding this because I'm studying rap and whatever, and to an extent, not completely, but to an extent, rap seems to be the one genre more than others where if you get known for like one thing, maybe two, three, whatever, but one thing definitely, people don't really want you to deviate too far outside of said one thing. And when Eminem started being like way too wacky, that's when they were like, what the fuck?
Well, it all starts with one thing, and I don't know why, but, you know, it is how it is.
But no, so that's what I mean when I say that, like what happened with him. Because like I got, if you listen to My Secret Identity, and again, not to compare myself to Eminem, but if you listen to My Secret Identity, I got one song on there where I say, like, and the song in and of itself is not lyrically dense at all, and I'm saying dumb shit. Mm-hmm. And then I basically say, I didn't come here to kill shit, came to take some sunshine and shove it in your face for about 2 minutes. Because basically I'm just playing around with the song and being silly. And then I got, you know, I did like some, you know, some fun, silly shit in there. But the song in and of itself is just to be fun and just to be silly. So yeah.
But right. I don't know who first said life's a bitch and then you die.
Nah,
he was the first one to say.
He wasn't the first one to say it, but he has a song.
Okay, so I saw when I looked up the phrase.
He wasn't the first to say it.
When I looked up the phrase "life's a bitch and then you die," that's that was the Nas song that you mentioned was the first thing to come up. I wasn't sure if that's the main "life's a bitch and then you die" that like popularized the phrase.
No,
but
I didn't.
It's one of those things where it's a very popularized phrase. Everybody fucking loves it. Like, yeah, they know about the lyrics and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it was done by a well-respected rapper. And I'm like, that in and of itself is just stating that's just stating facts. And it's taken to the thing. Now, I'm not saying that depicts all fucking things, but it's my thing. Like, anybody can say that. Life sucks. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Know.
Like,
the sky is blue when there's no clouds out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it depends, because I do agree with you that comedy does not get as much credit in any form, like comedy does not get as much credit as more serious matters, which is why a lot of comedic actors have to prove themselves to move over to dramatic like roles, which is crazy to me. But but what I was gonna say was to say in a sense, rap or whatever otherwise, that it's kind of simple or easy to make social commentary or make, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't fully agree. I don't
like
fully
I
agree with
said,
that.
I apologize, and like I said, from an objective standpoint, it's better because it's sad.
I'm
And
not
it's
even saying that. I just don't agree
because
with that.
real life is sad, and it's very much more difficult to tell people what's actually going on than to make up shit and make them laugh. It is way more difficult, and I
I'm not
apologize.
talking
Not to
about
you. I'm not saying anything about what you're saying. I'm going back. I'm going back on my earlier rant and statement. I'm admitting fault. I'm admitting fault. Because
I'm not saying you
as
should
much
do it.
as I like being right, which I've stated in the past few videos, I'm willing to admit when I am wrong. And I was wrong to say that serious acting, rapping, living, writing, whatever, is less difficult than comedic. Comedic is easy. Comedy is easy. I apologize. I find comedy easier. So well, who am I to say that it's more difficult? Comedy is easier than tragedy. I get it.
I don't think you need to
It is
retract
what
that
it
statement.
is. No, I will. Because again, I'm willing to admit when I am wrong. Anybody can do comedy. Anybody. Anybody can just walk up and just tell a joke, say something, just, yo, you heard a joke? Repeat that joke to your friends. They'll find it funny. If you don't tell them where it came from, they'll think you're the funniest fucker on the planet. And that's fine. So anybody can do comedy. Tragedy, that's more difficult. To make people sad and make people feel a certain way and control their emotions is a lot more difficult than to make them laugh. Because when you use the term emotions, happiness is never an emotion that people mean when they say emotions. Same thing when it comes to anger. Happiness and anger aren't emotions. The only emotion is sadness. We have to remember this. So there we go. So if you want to control people's emotions and convey reality and the real facts of life, because people aren't happy or angry in real life, they're only sad. If you want to be more realistic and relatable, you have to do the serious stuff. You have to pretty much be the news, but not be the news. Don't be boring. To be the news, but entertaining, is a lot more difficult than to distract people from the news in general. And I think that's what it is.
I put it like this, man. It is all in and of itself difficult in its own right. And one of the best things for any artist, whatever the field, to have is range from all the spectrums of all that shit. The one thing that the way you know that your art is good, and who's to say what is good, bad, whatever art, because art in and of itself, everything, the art in and of itself, pretty much by definition, is opinionated. The way you know your art is good is you make people feel something. That's it. That's it. There you go. There you go.
But anybody can feel you can make anybody laugh. So if you make them feel sadness, it's harder. It's harder to make them feel sad. No, I'm not saying it's what you're saying. I'm not talking about your opinion. I'm talking about the objective thing. Because as many of opinions are out there, art is opinionated. Art is opinionated. There wouldn't be classes for any of these fields in entertainment if it was all opinion based. There's an objective aspect to all of this. At the end of the day, let's say I was a good actor. Let's say I was a good actor and I was acting in something with somebody else, and we were both up for an award. I'm in a comedy play. I did a damn good job. I was the funniest motherfucker on earth. But this motherfucker made you cry. He made you fucking weep. You haven't wept like that in ages. You haven't laughed like you have in ages with me. Damn, did he make you weep. That motherfucker's winning the award.
That doesn't make it necessarily fair.
Well, that's
That's
just
the people
life.
who run.
That's just life, and the people who run it are looking at it objectively. That was harder.
This is what I'm saying though, because nothing says that what the Oscars deem, best picture, best actor, actress worthy is like the best. That just means that's honestly one of the biggest issues people have had with the Academy. Whether you agree with them or not, is they say that the Academy may be out of touch, and the Academy is just one group of whoever people's opinions about whatever. Because a lot of people have said that for Marvel and superhero movies to be running the box office for as long as they have, how come no Marvel actors have ever been nominated for shit for real?
Because they're fun movies and escapism, and people don't respect the escapism because
people
at the end of the day,
it doesn't mean it's good.
Well, and the masses liking it don't mean it's good either.
This is true. That's what all I'm saying is art in and of itself.
I admit it, and I am including myself in the masses, people. I just said I'm a fan of fucking Dragon Ball, and then admitted there are things that are literarily based, from a literature basis, are better than it.
All I'm saying is there's no true definition for anything within art. So just because, and I'm not saying I disagree or agree, but just because the Academy deems that this movie was the best picture doesn't mean it is or that it isn't. That's what I'm getting at. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, just because they deem it to be the best or otherwise, just because like I said, that's one of the issues. Like, I
will say
people have boycotted the Grammys because they've said that, what is this? This is, random people's opinions, doesn't mean anything. I, for example, think if I listen to it again, maybe I'll change my mind. But as at this point, I think As Cruel as School Children by Gym Class Heroes is a classic. The amount of people who would think, what the hell are you talking about? When I say that, is fucking crazy. That's Cupid's Chokehold. That's the album.
And I get you when it comes to the Grammys and the Oscars. They can pick people.
I'm saying it doesn't make it fair.
No, I get you, and I'm agreeing because like fucking Taylor Swift made a good, or Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift made a good album and all, but Beyonce made one of the best albums of all time. And she lost to Taylor Swift. No,
I'll say we can go on a whole other thing about how I think about that. I got a conspiracy theory about it.
Yeah. The Oscars and the Grammys are racist. But that's why I didn't say anything about a specific. That's why I'm agreeing though. I didn't say anything about a specific category or I will. Fine. There. You want to say something? Oscars and Grammys are racist. Challenge me on that if you want. Challenge me on that if you want, people at home. Oscars and Grammys and all of that shit is racist. I'll say it. Do I care?
No, it's not that I will vote. I'm just saying that wasn't the road I was going down.
I said that's not the road you were going on. That's not the road I want to go down. But you know what? Fuck it. It came out, and now you're like, gotta back away from that hot topic. I'm not backing down from that hot topic. I ain't going to hot topic. I ain't buffed enough. But
anyway,
sorry.
Anyway.
All right. When I mentioned the whole award ceremony, I didn't specify the Oscars or anything because you're right. Just because the Academy said it. I'm saying whenever there's an awards thing, comedy fucking loses to tragedy. Yeah.
9.9 times out of 10, yes.
Yeah, 999 times out of 1,000, comedy is losing to tragedy.
Unfortunately,
and that's because objectively, one is harder and of a better quality when it comes to what art is. And I'm saying I don't care about the objectives, okay? I like what I like.
Well, what I was gonna say with the whole thing was, and again, we could do that for another episode at a different time. What I was gonna say for the Taylor Swift shit with the Beyonce part was, I got a whole conspiracy theory thing about that because I believe that was used to make Taylor Swift a bigger star because at the time she was crossing over into pop and was only a country music artist.
I don't care that she won that award over
That's
Beyonce.
All I'm getting at.
I don't care that she won that award over Beyonce. I was just trying to make a joke about the Kanye West. I'm making a corny callback joke to the Kanye
random ass areas.
I just go a corny joke about the Kanye West thing because I was saying, the opinions of of a particular award don't matter because look at this instance over here. That's what I was saying.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
not to cut you off,
tragedy better than comedy.
but to cut both of us off, because we could clearly keep talking about this for a long time. We've already gone over time by several minutes.
Oh,
so other than the year episode, like the 1 year episode, this might be the longest like just episode organically.
Well, the quizzes may have been longer, but you're right.
Well, okay. Anyway, well, either way,
that was like an hour and a half, damn near as well.
Yes. Either way, if you would like to follow us on our socials, individually, and go ahead and keep up with your boys, then if you would like to follow me, you can go ahead and find as we talked about, I do make music, so I do rap, and you can go ahead and look me up on anywhere that you stream your music under the name Superjaz, which would be Superjaz. You can look for my debut solo album, My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not so famous yet. You can also go ahead and look for and follow me on Twitter, which would be under Superjaz2. So that'd be Superjaz number 2. And of course, if you would like, you can go ahead and find and follow me on Instagram under the term Forever Superjaz, the word forever spelled correctly. Where can they find you, man?
Well, y'all know where y'all can find me. First of all, you can find me every week here, every Wednesday on this channel. You can find me elsewhere on YouTube under YouTube/feogrande. That's feogrande. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Maybe post some emotes of this little guy. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Word. Well, might not be for an extra 10 minutes. Or then again, maybe it will. Because we didn't know where this episode was going to go, and look where it took us. So you might not even know the answer to this question this time. But that being said, what are we going to talk about next?
Whatever we want, man. Clearly.
Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adios, this.